I want to get started with the Subway Series. First and foremost, New York Yankees at the New York Mets. This year, it just feels a little bit different. You have the two best teams in their respective divisions. The AL East, it's the Yankees, and it has been the Yankees all year long. The NL East, it is the Mets, and it has been the Mets all year long. And for the first time in history, these two teams squared off with both of them being 20 games over 500 or more and in first place in their division. The first time ever the Yankees and Mets have played each other with that being on the line. Now, the Yankees have been the best team in baseball all year long. Their record was unbelievable. They haven't been quite on that stretch anymore heading into these games that took place in Queens. So the Mets were the home team here. Game 1 goes to the Mets. They win 6-3. There were 4 home runs hit in the first inning of the first game of the Subway Series. 4 homers. Kind of died down a little bit after that. Edwin Diaz slammed the door. And then game 2, Max Scherzer was just dominant. 7 innings, 0 runs, 6 strikeouts. Yankees end up hitting a homer to tie the game as soon as he comes out. And then they walk it off. The Mets walk off winners in game 2. 2-game sweep of the Subway Series. The Mets are real. And that was a really fun series. So, look, with their 2-game sweep, the Mets have clinched at least a tie in their season series against the Yankees this season. The Yankees have now gone 5 straight seasons without winning the season series against the Mets. 5 straight. Haven't beaten them since 2017. I mean, that's pretty remarkable. After sweeping the 2-game series, the Mets are now 9-5 against the Yankees since the start of the 2020 season. So let's talk about both of these teams. The Mets. We'll start off with the Mets. What the Mets proved to me over these 2 games, yes, it's 2 mid-season, regular season, midweek games, but it meant a little more. The Mets are a World Series caliber team. They're real. They are an elite team. And if we didn't know it to this point in the year, when their record was great, then it started, the Braves are catching them in the standings. The Braves are going to win the division. Look, the Braves are a great team. The Mets are a great team. The team that we just saw beat the Yankees in both games, that's a World Series caliber team. They have World Series caliber talent. And they prove that again and again. And I've been saying it all year long. The Mets aren't going to Met. At this point, you're probably tired of hearing me say that. But I'm tired of people saying it. I'm tired of people saying the Mets are going to Met because it's not happening this year. Why do I say that? Because of all of these new guys that are on this team. What Mark Canha has brought to this team. What a struggling Eduardo Escobar has still brought to this team. And what Starling Marte, who has been fantastic, an all-star, hitting over 300 on the year, playing great defense, what he has brought to the team. What Max Scherzer has brought to the team. This combo that we're about to get of Max Scherzer and Jacob deGrom, who wants to face them in the World Series? Who wants to face them in the playoffs? So the easier path to a playoffs, I think, comes from the National League. The National League is a little more wide open. The American League, it seems there's 2 clear dominant teams. You look on the National League, there's the Dodgers, there's the Braves, there's the Mets. The Padres are going to be good. Imagine if the Padres get Juan Soto, which is more and more in the talks. Just had Ken Rosenthal on the show on Wednesday, and he spoke about the Juan Soto potential trade. He believes it will happen, and the first team he mentioned was the Padres. Imagine if that happens. There just seems to be more teams involved on the National League side that could get there. Who wants to face the New York Mets in the playoffs? They're going to throw Jacob deGrom and Max Scherzer at you in game 1 and 2 if they can line up that way. And then they have Chris Bassett and other good arms there as well. Here's an impressive stat for the Mets pitching staff. They held the Yankees hitless in 15 of 18 innings over the 2 games in this series. 15 of the 18 innings, the Yanks were hitless. This Mets team is so complete. We talk about Max Scherzer. We talk about Jacob deGrom a lot, even though he hasn't pitched this year. Little Jacob deGrom update. He has thrown his final rehab start in AAA. By all accounts, and according to manager Buck Showalter, he's done. He is back. His arm feels good after his last start, and the Mets' plan is to have him join the team for his next start. So they're just now going to be getting to full strength. The pitching, really good. We know that. The hitting, phenomenal. Starling Marte, Pete Alonso, Jeff McNeil's been good. Francisco Lindor's been so much better than he was last year. I really like this Mets team, and this mid-game, this midweek series, to me, the Mets had more to prove. We know the Yankees have been good all year. The Mets had more to prove here, and what they proved to me is that they are a World Series caliber team. And when it comes to the elite of the elite in the National League, they are certainly a part of it. deGrom's line in his fourth rehab start. Now, the line is less important than how his arm feels. He went 4 innings pitched, two hits, 4 earned, 3 walks, 6 strikeouts, 67 pitches. His 2 homers included a 3-run opposite field shot. The Mets haven't announced the next steps, but August 2nd in Washington is a good guess for deGrom's season debut. Jacob deGrom could have gone out and given up 100 runs. If he comes out of that start with his arm feeling good, that's all that matters. We know he will be fine when he gets to the big leagues. And by all accounts, he will be with the big league team. Now, before I move on and talk about the Yankees on this side of things, I want to end things with the best closer in the game of baseball right now, Edwin Diaz. Now, Edwin Diaz is putting together a historic year. But my favorite part of Edwin Diaz is his walk, his trot from the bullpen to the mound. You know, when you look back in time and think of greatest closer walkouts, you think Mariano Rivera, Enter Sandman, Trevor Hoffman, Hell's Bells, Jonathan Papelbon shipping up to Boston. There's some elite ones in there. Edwin Diaz has immediately thrown himself into that conversation. He comes out, trumpets are blaring, the crowd is going wild. Mr. and Mrs. Met are standing on the dugout with trumpets. It is awesome to see. If you haven't gotten to experience one, you can go to my Twitter and find it because I tweeted this the other day. Best entrance in the game for the best closer in the game, Edwin Diaz. Now, I don't even know the name of the song. I think it's like by Blaster Jacks and Timmy Trumpet, but I don't know the name. It's just a bunch of trumpets, and it's just pure electricity. I know that. And then he steps on the mound. And by the way, after I tweeted that the other day, Jonathan Papelbon himself, shipping up to Boston, responded to that tweet and said, I assume you're talking about in the game currently, correct? With like the emoji. Of which I said, yes, absolutely. So that was pretty cool because I just mentioned him as he also was awesome. A great closer in his time at Boston and had a great, here's the tweet right here. You talking about in today's game, right? Jonathan Papelbon. That was pretty cool. So then Edwin Diaz steps on the mound, and this year there just hasn't been anybody more dominant. You know, Helsley for the Cardinals has been really good numbers-wise. It's hard to beat him. But in terms of pure dominance, there's nobody better than Edwin Diaz. He's gotten 122 outs this year, okay? 122 outs so far in the season. 81 of those have been via the strikeout. 66.4% have come via the strikeout, on pace for the highest single-season strikeout rate in MLB history. He's got a 1.5 ERA on the year, a whip under 1, a 6.75 strikeout to walk ratio, a 181 opponent batting average, and in 40.2 innings pitched, he has 81 strikeouts. He's currently in the midst of 14 consecutive appearances without allowing an earned run. He hasn't allowed an earned run since June 18th. I encourage you all, when Edwin Diaz comes in the game, to turn on the TV, turn on the SNY broadcast of it because the away broadcast isn't broadcasting his entrance. But they do. And from the second that bullpen gate opens, the song starts, the fans stand up, Mr. and Mrs. Met are on the dugout, and the place goes wild. And he comes in and just slams the door shut with 100 miles an hour, a wipeout slider, and it's just pure electricity. So the Mets are real. The Mets are real. They pitch well. They hit well. Edwin Diaz is great. What are they going to do at the trade deadline? I would like to see them add another bullpen arm and a catcher. The catching position for the Mets has been an interesting one. James McCann hurt. A lot of injuries there. If they go out and add, let's say, the Wilson Contreras, and I wouldn't put this past them, if they add Wilson Contreras, watch out.
Thanks for watching. If you love Flippin Bats, swinging 3-0, or just talking ball, join us. Call us at 213-537-9339 with your questions. We have a weekly guest, and we have a lot of fun, so hit that subscribe button.